What's up, homies? Late and loss. Oh no, we were right here. I don't know what anyone's talking about. I was perfect. Let's see. We are again multi-streaming on Odyssey and Rumble. Let me just. Odyssey's working. Waiting for. Dude, come on. I hate. Oh my gosh. What's up, Nico? Dude, fucking Rumble, man. They need to fix their stuff. It's like you have to set it up on their end, and they make the RTM, like the RTMP, and like the stream code. It's like each one is unique, and it's so annoying. And I even updated it on my end, but oh, good, it's working now. All right, good. Fucking Rumble, man. Anyway, hope you guys are having a good Friday. Hey, Chaos Smash, what's up? What is going on? We've got some stuff that caught my eye that I just wanted to look over and share with you guys. And it's more Armed Fantasia and looks like another Kickstarter for another game. Like the indie like community is just exploding, and it's not surprising because people are tired of the corporate bullshit. I forgot to look into Armed Fantasia today. It's all good. It is all good. The audio's getting a warning on YouTube saying the audio is low, but like I haven't changed a thing. So I love YouTube Studio. But in any case, we've got Armored Fantasia gets first look at game world in WIP gameplay clip. So very cool. So Wild Bunch Productions shared a new work in progress gameplay clip for Armored Fantasia to the End of the Wilderness. So keep in mind that the terrain and character actions are all in development, and we've left out things like character swaying and shaders. The developer noted in an update blog. Also, the current lighting is also temporary. This will look very different from the promotional video we released previously. So here is the new gameplay. Oh man, did they take it down already? Okay, good. They just didn't add it. Also, it seems like the Wild Arms series is calling your name with all the Armored Fantasia news. Oh no, I know. I love Western games. Love Western games. Although I never finished playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Despite it being graphically obviously superior to 1, something about 1 I like more than 2. And I kind of let it fall to the wayside for me. All right, so let's take a look at the field test. I like the music. Very good for just a work in progress. Looks awesome. just hopping upstairs. Graphics are stunning like every other game. I mean, yeah. It's not, I mean, for me, it's not the big selling point, but I mean, I'm hoping that it looks, you know, it should look this good. There you go. So in case you missed it, find our extremely thorough interview with Wild Arms creator and ARM Fantasia boss, Akifumi Kaneko here. You can also check out the game's debut trailer here. You can click the links if you want. So they're currently seeking funding on Kickstarter and a double crowdfunding campaign. The initial funding was met. Nice. And console version stretch goals were also met. Dang. Meaning the game is coming to Windows PC, Xbox Series, PlayStation 5, and Switch. So there you go. So they met their criteria. Looks amazing. Even as a, you know, progressive or a work in progress sort of thing. Sweet. Looks like we got some, you know, platforming in there as well, so that's good. I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously a lot, you know, displaying of the graphics, which should be top notch for games nowadays. I did want to, where's that one thing though? Because this, I want to see this. This caught my eye right away. Dominia game pulled from Steam after developer posts anti-trans comments and jokes. So I'm instantly curious. Westerns and cowboys to normies, so gay and fabulous. Westerns to us, heart-pounding music, gunslinging action, story of grits. So people got butthurt apparently, and the game got pulled off of Steam after developers post anti-trans comments and jokes. All right, let's see what the damage was. Dominion was delisted from Steam last night after its death. Dolphin Barn Incorporated used patch notes to share personal opinions. Okay. The Gladiator fighting game was available for Windows PC via Steam, but now says at the request of the publisher, Dominia is no longer available for sale on Steam, although the game was self-published by Dolphin Barn. So he posted the patch notes titled, "We're out of ideas, mentally unstable, totally degenerate, and desperate for clout. Let's pretend we're a completely different game to regain relevance." A joke making fun of the concept of dead naming, i.e. referring to a trans person by their original birth name. He was also talking about anti-masking in one of the game updates. The reasoning behind the use of patch notes for Dolphin Barn's personal belief is due to the fact that Steam banned the dev from its own game forums for posting similar opinions and beliefs. Wait, what? What happened? Oh, wow, there's a whole nother article on that one. Okay. So the patch notes then suggest changing the game's name to Dominius while saying, "Please do not be a bigot." Adding, "Stop being confused and remember that Dominia doesn't exist and never did," but notes, "Dominus does exist." The developer then made comments and jokes at trans streamer Keffels, likely due to the ongoing debacle between them and Cloudflare. Oh, you can't mention Kiwi Farms because that's pretty much why Keffels became relevant again. The dev then listed a few real fixes for the game, only to close out with more personal beliefs like stop destroying the innocence of children by lying to them about basic biology and stand up for what you believe. Ask God for courage. What a baller. My gosh, based. I instantly want to play the game now, whatever that is. Oh, well, base dev. And these were like, who cares? This was his personal notes, right? Or his patch notes. Dolphin Barn then linked to a video of former trans child Chloe Cole. Oh man, Chloe Cole, who spoke against the controversial California Bill SB 107, which guarantees protection for minors going to the state for transgender related medical procedures. Could have bought this game, damn it. Valve message listed on the game's hub page confirms the game was banned by a member of Steam support for a recent announcement posted to the Dominia community hub, including insults targeting another person. Where's the insult? Where's the insult? Made comments and jokes, unless the article like isn't showing what was claimed. I mean, even the link they cited, let's see. I'm not seeing anything. I mean, in the link post, I'm not seeing like more. I'm not seeing what the insults were. Where I don't see it. This isn't targeting anybody. It's a statement. This also isn't targeting us people specifically. He's making a statement. If you're gonna drop someone for insults targeting another person, then I would assume the person's name would be involved in said insults. They should have just included a screenshot of the game path notes. Oh, you can't even joke. Comedy is about pointing out the absurdities of things. But we've also let these people infiltrate the comedy realm as well, because now, making fun of Christians, Trump, and conservatives is tier gold comedy. Anything else that deviates from that can be harmful to people. These people are fucking delusional, man. Insane. This is likely pointing to the comments and jokes made at Keffels. Again, show me where these comments are. The message then notes the company made it clear in the prior warning that future violations would jeopardize their future relationship. The Steam parent company then confirmed they are ending its business relationship with Dolphin Barn Incorporated and removing all associated products for sale. Excuse me. Opinion. It's okay to not like Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Powers. That needs to be stated as opinion. More so fact. But this I want to see. We'll look at this one too. Yeah, that's funny. My response to that is laugh at the absurdity of things and get the fuck over it. These are the people that are making it to where any sort of disagreement or rejection of the opinion or explanation or what have you means that you think of them less as human. This is how extreme they made it, and they can go fucking jump on some trampolines made out of barbed wire. Because, gosh, if it pisses you off, don't go to it. Anywho, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Dear Lord. The Cowabunga collection, I'm still hesitant if I even want to get this, to be honest. I wish these people would have taste of the sorrow they inflict onto others, says Chaos Smash. Yeah. Um I mean, I wish the truth would they could see the truth and realize that the world is based on many different opinions and beliefs, and that it is possible to get along with your fellow human. And to constantly saying, well, if you don't agree with what I think, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're causing the tear more, not the other way around. And you're lessening like actual damage done to whatever the topic is that's real. You're lessening that, like for example, survivors. There are a bunch of fake victims and fake survivors that go on a tirade, and when they find out that it's not true or it doesn't add up, it diminishes people who actually have suffered, and makes it hard for them to come out, because you know the fear that these people project about not being believed because of their actions and for faking it actually damages real people, and makes it really in the end just makes it harder for them, harder than what it was originally, which could be like life damaging. These people are fucking morons. They think that their actions are just the ends justify the means, which you know if the quote opposition or people that they've deemed racist or whatever went with that, fought fire with fire to the extreme, these people wouldn't last at all. Veridark made a video of Nintendo backpedaling on rejecting a loot shoot 'em up. Ooh. Anywho, the Cowabunga collection. So Konami's arcade games were a staple for any kids growing up in the 90s. Very true. There were legends for their licensed arcade cabinets based off properties like The Simpsons. That was a good one. Aliens. I might have played a little bit of it. Wild West Cow, Boys of Mumessa. Bucky O'Hare, I've heard, and of course X-Men. I actually want to see what this one's about, because now I'm curious. Like I love me my westerns. Arcade. Oh, that looks cool. It definitely feels like a Sunset Rider. It reminds me of a Sunset Riders, that arcade, that type of Western game. Okay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was easily the biggest force to reckon with when it comes to a media juggernaut, and Konami was there to pick up the IP and make the games. So the Cowabunga Collection is a compilation of the Konami Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games that span from 89 to 93, totaling at a whopping 13 games. While some of these games may not hold up to the scrutiny of modern standards, majority of them are still very enjoyable and otherwise unobtainable and extremely rare today. So which games hold and which don't have been okay, yeah, so they're kind of reviewing it. I was more curious of the fact of what they changed. Okay, so of the 13 games in the TMNT Cowabunga collection, 6 are beat 'em ups, 4 are action platformers, and 3 are fighting games. Majority of the games use the 1987 cartoon as a basis for the visual style and identity. There are some fleeting instances of references to TMNT Turtles movies, the toy line, and sometime homage to the comics. The arcade games look impressively vibrant and have large sprites. The animation is fluid, well, of course, and bosses have an imposing presence when they make their entrances, often with sampled voice audio to mock the turtles at the battle beginnings. Regretfully, the arcade games become tedious slogs. These games were designed to suck quarters out of kids in the 90s and were balanced to be hard, The Cowabunga collection offers several features to make these entries a bit more fair, like a tweaked difficulty and being able to have infinite credits. I mean, easily can emulate it and get the same result. When players have such vulgar power, the flaws of the arcade game stand out. Manhattan Project was a good one. I remember playing that. I'm not sure when Turtles in Time came out, but I know this one, it felt like a lot of people don't give it love, which I don't know why, because I thought it was pretty good. Thought it was pretty good. Pretty fucking good. Let's see. Bosses take a long time to defeat due to the outrageous padded HP pools. Well, of course. It's an arcade game. Gamers initiated with belt-scrolling beat-em-ups will know that most enemies, bosses included, are vulnerable to the vertical trick. This method still works to cheese enemies by moving up or down the y-axis, confusing the foes, putting players into safety. I actually never got into tournament fighters. I played a little bit of it, but I personally never got into it. With infinite credits, the insane challenges and unfair odds may not apply, but the gameplay becomes a tedious battle of attrition. Even when you know how to avoid getting hit and know when to wail on an enemy, the process is dragged out far too long. Compounded with very simplistic gameplay, the arcade games do not hold up after decades of refined game design for the beat 'em up genre. X to fucking doubt on that one. Dude, I love going back to the arcade games. What's this person talking about? He pretty much is complaining of what the whole point of the arcade was set up. And because of that, it doesn't hold up. How about Get Good? You know, when people throw that around, I feel like this is a prime opportunity to say Get Good. Or because you have infinite continues, there should be no reason why you shouldn't beat the game. Wow. Really? Who wrote this review? Fingel Belmont. Oh, and it's I forget what this fucker's called. Something Chan or something like that. I don't remember. A youth destined for damnation. Oh, after that, after saying that the arcades don't hold up, even though they are literally meant to be arcades. All right. While there's not enough substance or variety in TMNT, the arcade game, and Turtles in Time for arcade, not enough substance or variety. Okay, did this person write this before Shredder's Revenge came out? Because it was literally like Shredder's Revenge is literally an arcade game, and people loved it. So the home consoles were a big deal in the 90s for being improvements in almost every way imaginable. So TMNT 2, the arcade game, was an ambition attempted to adapt the original 89 arcade and was largely successful. The visual obviously had to be reimagined to work with the confines of the NES limitations, like 8 bits and meager 56 colors. The arcade game manages to have some of the better visuals on the console with its big sprite and fluid actions. Is this guy if he's talking about the NES game, what big sprites and fluid, you want to talk about one that's tough to go through? Is the second one, especially the NES one. You have no weapon variety. The fighting sprites are literally the same for every turtle. There's like no uniqueness. At least in the arcade games, each turtle had its own personality. He literally just said the arcades are inferior, but the NES, the NES one. I'm curious if this guy even actually played it. So gameplay in NES version is also improved thanks to the rebalancing that makes the game more fair and some added variety in the form of extra stages. Two extra stages. Redesigned stages. Okay, who cares? It still functions the same. Console horror located. And new bosses. 2 new bosses. That's it. I believe one was when New York has a quick like snow level, and then the other one is like in a dojo, if I'm not mistaken. This also applies to TMNT 2, excuse me, 4 Turtles in Time, which was much further expanded compared to its arcade counterparts. Some bosses are replaced with others, and there are 5 unique bosses added. I'm sorry, but the arcades, like if wow, okay, I'll give them the fact that it's cool to see replacement characters and unique bosses, but there are plenty of arcade games that still hold up to this time. Well, I don't agree with this guy at all with a lot of stuff. Who to me, part of it better visuals on the console. Bullshit. This is so bullshit. Especially the NES one. There's a greater attention to detail and small touches that makes the NES or SNES version of Turtles in Time the crown jewel in the Cowabunga collection. It's Turtles in Time. Whether it's the arcade or the SNES, they're good games. I think Turtles in Times is a great example of taking an arcade and making it as the maximum best it could be with the limitations of SNES. But to straight up go about and say that the arcade versions are inferior, no way, man. No way. The fluidity of the arcade itself, because it could hold more animations, instantly decredits this. Mode 7 effects, improved controls, bonus level rounds out of the improvements that make it the superior experience. Wait, Mode 7? What's Mode 7 effect? I guess that's something they added. Improved controls. I thought the controls were just fine. Bonus level rounds, okay. Makes it the superior experience over the arcade game, and no amount of voice clips will prove otherwise. People didn't. That's just a bullshit statement right there. I'll tell you what, when I've heard people say I really like the arcade game, it's not because of just the voice clips. There was literally more animation in the arcades. The graphics in earlier Turtles in Time are especially appealing and look as good as the art in Shredder's Revenge. The toy line seems like it was an influence on the aesthetics, bright colors and shiny highlights that give a plastic-like impression. The Rat King sewer footski especially looks like the sprite model was modeled directly from its respective toy, with the colors being a one-to-one match. Well, show me pictures. If you're making these statements, I want to see comparison pictures. So TMNT, the 89 for the NES, was not based on any arcade game. It was a single-player action platformer that had more in common with Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. Over the years, this game's reputation has built it up as one of the hardest games on the NES, and I've beaten it. The challenge has been grossly overstated, and while it is pretty tough, with a bit of practice and patience, anyone can overcome it. This just sounds like a throwaway statement. Oh, stop the review. It's giving you a headache. No, we must persist. We must persist because I'm generally like interested in what this person has to say, because this feels legitimately to me, it feels like it was written to purposely like go against the grain. The dam stage has been especially exaggerated with its swimming mechanics, deadly obstacles, ticking time bombs, and rushing currents. There's an admitted a lot to contend with, but now anyone will be able to beat it thanks to the rewind button and the various cheats that are available. There is no way to lose now. So you're saying because of the rewind button and the various cheats, that makes it a better game? I remember people saying the Seaweed was the most annoying stuff, but I got through it as a kid fairly easy. Like, I mean, obviously anyone has to practice, but this person also reminds me, like, if I would emulate it, I feel like this person would complain that it's not really playing the game. Even though he literally just stated that with the rewind button and the various cheats. Hey, guess what? All this feature that you're saying is now makes it like you able to beat the game a lot easier. Guess what? I could easily have beaten it with these options a long ass time ago via emulation. Not to mention, people have made game genie codes to fix the problems in the game, and and patches. Oh boy, the graphics in the let's see, TMNT holds up as well as any other Konami NES game. The rich black shadows give the impression of a lot of depth and volume, and the turtles look on model for a late 80s 8-bit game. The only questionable choices are some of the generic enemy designs that are indescribably and look like they could be from any game. No, Greg, they fixed the game with cheats. I know, that's my favorite part. These are the people that complain at you for cheating, but then literally fix the game by cheating. Just because of that slap of the official Nintendo approval is what it is. It's what the argument has always been. Oh, you emulate, you have to play it with the original hardware. Oh, you're using a ROM, you need to physically own it. These people just make this argument just because but it's funny because everything's going digital now. So those people are going to look on their video game shelf and look over at someone else who may not have it displayed, but has just like almost the same amount of the games, but they acquired it via other ways and stuff like that and saved money on it. I hate people like that. I mean, if it's a game I enjoy and I want it in my collection, I'll get a physical copy of it. But man, these people. Let's see. So the Cowabunga collection also has the Manhattan Project, the longest beat 'em up game in the collection. If you like TMNT Turtle 2, the arcade game, why didn't you slap on TMNT 2, the arcade game? Because that's technically what it's called. Then you'll love the Manhattan Project because it is more of it. How much more? It's almost double the size. Gameplay mechanics between the Manhattan Project and its predecessor are almost the same. Gameplay mechanics? Are you kidding? There's a throw function. Down in the attack, you'll like flip the soldiers. That's not in the second one. What is this person talking about? But the former is packed with more stage gimmicks and a lot more bosses. It is so dense and long that it does become a drag after a while, and the constant fighting can wear down the player's patience. This guy just doesn't seem like an arcade player or enjoys playing arcade games, which is literally what the majority of the Cowabunga collection is. I'm wondering if this person's going to talk about on how awesome like specifically the fighting games are, the tournament or like the tournament fighter edition. It's like, you know what the arcade should be? This type of game. Oh, so it should just be a fighting game. So a lot of assets are recycled, but the new edition stands out. The battle with the giant Mousers make an impression. Where are you going to mention the fact that there's literally a new fighting style with the throwing of the enemies? Just gonna ignore that? Just gonna slap it under it's the same gameplay mechanics? Okay. The battle with the giant Mauser makes an impression, and lots of element from the second movie. The Secret of the Ooze are implemented. Yep, which is dope. I like the Secret of the Ooze. The experience feels like an amalgamation of the cartoon show and the films, making it a very comprehensive Turtles beat 'em up. And then that's it. That's all he has to say about the Manhattan Project. Oh my goodness. That's funny. He's pissing me. He's pissing you off. I'm enjoying this. I think it's hilarious. He's wrong on so many levels. I mean, that's fine if that's his opinion, but you want to know why the arcade games don't hold up? Why? It's because it's an arcade game. Okay. The console versions were better. Why? Well, I mean, they just graphically they look better. Even though the arcade like has a bunch of extra animation cells, which makes it just legitimately more fluid. Well, yeah, but oh what? It just has some extra voice clips. Who gives a shit? Console games have voice clips too. Hyperstone Heist, very highly underrated game. And I'm glad that they actually made a unique version of Turtles in Time for the Sega Genesis. I wish a lot of games did that. Rocket Knight Adventures, technically Sparkster, did the same thing. The Sega Genesis and the SNES are two different types of games. This is a weird one, as it's seemingly made up of various aspects of the prior beat 'em up Turtles game in the collection. Why is it a weird one? What if they go, yeah, I think some people who don't have Super Nintendos would like a Turtles game on the Genesis. So a lot of Turtles in Time is recycled. So Turtles in Time is like one of the best Turtles game. Who cares? But also there are 16-bit reinterpretations of content from TMNT 2, the arcade game too. Hyperstone Heist mixes things up with some gameplay tweaks, most notably that everything feels faster. I actually love that feature. And enemies feel more aggressive. Awesome. Really good. Sadly, there's no throwing Foot Clan ninjas on the screen anymore. Oh, but you didn't mention tossing Foot Clan ninjas in the Manhattan Project. Forgot to mention that one and just said that it's the same gameplay mechanics as the second one. But levels are also extended compared to the prior counterparts. Of all the beat 'em ups in TMNT, the Cowabunga collection, this is the most turbocharged. Oh, what about the fact that there's a gauntlet level? What about the fact you mentioned up here on how they included all these bosses? This is one of the very few games that has Tetsu from the movie. Just gonna ignore those? Just gonna ignore that? Okay. Of the 3 Game Boy titles, only one is of note. I actually need to play the Game Boy TMNT games. Back from the Sewers and Fall of the Foot Clan are when the turtles live up to being turtles and slowly shuffle their way through stages as ninjas rush them. It's hard to cut these titles any slack despite their limitations for being on a monochrome DMG with Game Boy specs because they are intensely boring. Just go to ramhacking.net and I guarantee you'll find stuff that will make it almost a whole new game. This guy's he's going way up and down with all this. Aside from slightly different graphics and unique levels, both Back from the Sewers and the Fall of the Foot Clan almost feel like the same game. They are very similar in concept and execution in both games blur together into a black and white haze. Ooh, very. Are you all right? Okay. Oh, okay. Hopefully no food was damaged. So TMNT 3 Radical Rescue is the last Game Boy title in the compilation and fares the best, but this isn't saying much. It is still an action platformer, but this one is notably for having some Metroidvania elements to the gameplay and is overall a smoother experience compared to the last 2 Game Boy games. Oh, here we go. They finally showed something. Yeah, why didn't this guy actually... Yeah, why did they put all these different pictures? They should have at least put pictures that corresponded to the section of the game he's talking. So in Radical Rescues, players begin as Mikey and will be exploring open-ended maps. Mikey is able to clear large gaps thanks to his whirly nunchuck ability and will have to seek keys throughout the game to open up new areas. Oh man, is it like Crazy Castle? Areas that are gated off and instead of gaining abilities to bypass these barriers. Abilities are acquired by freeing Mike's imprisoned brothers. The hell was that noise? Oh, that was Zach dropping a cooking tin, cooking pan. All is well, though. So Raph can go into a shell and get into tight passages like Samus's morph ball. Leo is able to break blocks by drilling into them with his katanas, and Donatello's talent is scaling up and jumping off walls for hard to reach places. Radical Rescue forces player to go into the menu to switch to the turtles that can become tedious even in a game as short as this one, which is about 3 hours. Why didn't you complain about switching through turtles in the NES game? It was fine in that one, but now it's annoying in this when each turtle has a unique skill. Damn it, Zach. It's all good. Also includes 3 versions of tournament. Wait, 3 versions of the same game? Now, to me, that's a waste of time. So you had the NES, the SNES, and the Genesis. Only the SNES version is any good because Genesis version was designed around a controller with only 3 buttons, and the NES was the worst console for fighting games. So between all 3 tournament fighters, each one is still vastly different from the last. NES version may be borderline unplayable, but it is an impressive technical achievement and pulls off some impressive background scrolling effects that create illusion in depth. Oh my gosh, he pulled that out of his asshole. I guarantee you he could not think of a damn thing to say and just pulled this out of his ass. Hothead sprites also managed to be so large and nuclear that it is in a constant state of flickering. The Genesis gets 2 less combatants than its SNES counterpart, but gets unique stages. Oh, so now, okay. Man, he really likes pulling out the unique stages argument for different games that either makes it good or bad. So fighters include Ray Fillet, a big beetle guy, and April, who is modeled after her appearance in the film TMNT 3. So obviously he's going to jack off on the SNES version, saying it's the best one, supports online, has any playability. It's like Street Fighter 2 and even has many of the same inputs or special moves and similar combo system. Thankfully, modern game controllers are designed like an SNES pad, which makes it accessible to any other game. So sprites are their most bold. Okay, exclusive fighters include a generic ninja girl, the Batman Man Wingnut, and a killer shark guy. All killer shark guy can't manage to look him up. All versions of Tournament Fighters are shallow, but the SNES version is a decent try for it. Konami's Cowabunga collection is worth the price of admission. Really? According to this article, you had a lot of complaints, buddy. Some are duds, but most of them are excellent beat-em-ups and a classic NES game that a lot of gamers grew up with. It's nostalgia bait, but nostalgia is a valid feeling and be cathartic, especially when it involves overcoming a game that used to crush you as a child. I overcame a lot of them as a child. Did you just give up? I was wondering I was hoping he would explain the difference of stuff. Instead, he just went through and complained why all the games were either good or bad and what made them that way. What this person really should have done is should have compared it to the original and then what they did and how they needed to change it. Because I heard they had to change some music. They had to change some sprites for licensing issues. I would have loved to have seen this in this article, but nope. Alrighty, so we'll jump to the next thing that I thought was really cool, and I want to see what this is getting into. Is the Persona series composer's new game, new gun RPG Guns Undarkness launches Kickstarter in September. So I want to see what this is all about. Because it caught my eye. Alrighty. So Shin Megami Tensei Persona series composer Sojo Meguro announced a Kickstarter campaign for Guns Undarkness, his new 2021 announced gun RPG. So the new Kickstarter campaign for Guns Undarkness is launching in a few days on September 12th and will have a modest funding goal of $30,000 to make the game for PC There will naturally be stretch goals to do Gun Undarkness ports on Xbox Switch or a new Switch and PlayStation. It's worth reiterating. Guns Undarkness is Magural's first game after leaving Atlas as a full staff member and going freelance. So through Kickstarters, I'd like to make Guns Undarkness an even better game with the support and early feedback of the fans. He said in a press release, with the help of our backers, I hope to fix the visual problems and brush up on everything. So please lend me your support. Here's a rundown of the game. So Guns of Darkness is a strategy JRPG that combines stealth elements with command-driven turn-based combat in a futuristic sci-fi universe. The player takes the role of a member of the PMC, the private military company, in the year 2045, who must carry out operative missions with their peers in a devastated world after a nuclear war. The game's story will focus on the main protagonists as they fight to revolutionize the human race and move closer to the idea of true love. So on the field, the player will control the main character and up to 3 allies. With the use of hand signal buttons, players can instruct their allies to hide at cover points and use the go button to order them to cover their character. When an enemy is spotted, the player can open fire. If the player's team engages the enemy while totally hidden, it will activate an attack bonus. The more the player fires during this bonus, the more damage they will deal before the battle begins. Hidden or not, once the player fires on the enemy, the game will leap into turn-based battle. So you can, in-battle commands include choices such as basic attack and skill, which packs more punch and costs SP. There will also be guard, move, weapon, item, escape, and tags, which refers to the character's defense suit. Strategic gameplay can be employed by unleashing skills while attacking from behind cover, which will cost no SP. If the player manages to strike the enemy in a weak point, they can deal massive damage and be able to duck into cover. The affinity of the character's weapons and that of the target's tags will determine how much damage is done. However, an enemy's defense value can also reduce the amount of damage they take. In addition to powerful skills, there are also guns with special buffs and debuff abilities. It's pretty cool. Winning a will earn the player's team. I feel like I could have typed that better. 2 types of experience points. EXP for characters and gun EXP. Leveling up boosts a character's stats and unlocking new skills for guns. Players will be able to enhance the guns they own by adding parts. That's cool. And even acquire blueprints and materials that will let them build new guns as they progress through the story. So outside of missions, players will spend their time in the Maroon Hub and an amphibious submarine that the team uses as their hideout, which they can use to accept quests, visit shops, and travel to other locations on the world map. So, oh man, I wish we could have seen some stuff, but this is curious. In the year 2045, humanity was in a state of ambience or aviance that allowed technology to flourish. However, it deepened the social dive between the rich and the poor. Hey, sounds familiar. Creating the haves and the have-nots. Within the ranks of the latter grew a faction who planned the Great Reset, an event steeped in primitivism that would change the course of humanity. Wish there were some. Yeah, I'll try to see if I can find some. The Thousand Plateaus launched 2 weapons of mass destruction, triggering a world nuclear war. Always that nuclear war. And so the Great Reset was accomplished. Enter the protagonist, a rookie member of a private military company tasked with handling the deteriorating situation. It is up to you to discover the truth of love in a world racked by devastation. Did he mean wrecked by devastation? Okay. And whether or not humanity is capable of being revolutionized. So it was first revealed of November 2021. Oh, okay. Guns Undarkness is the first post-Atlas project as a freelancer. Ugh. Okay, so in addition to the game design, he'll also be composing and producing all the music in Guns Undarkness. At his side, character designer Aya Kuchinov, who I guess worked on Ghost in the Shell, SAC 2045, and Lyricist Lotus Juice Persona series, which ties with Meguro date back to Persona 3 in 2006. All right, let's see what this looks like. Here we go. So here's some pictures. To me, it looks like it could be polished up a bit, but there you go. I don't know if there's actually some gameplay. Well, it is Japan. Of course, they would go for the nuclear route. Yeah. All righty. Well, that's pretty much all I had for today. Let's see if we have any other interesting stuff. I mean, people complaining about She-Hulk. People still accusing Lord of the Rings fans for being racist because they're not supporting Rings of Power. Not really seeing anything else that I would want to talk about. Raging Wynand is what She-Hulk is. Yeah, I saw that. Looks funny. Guess there's a Captain America Black Panther game, but I don't care. I don't care about that. Visual novel Tron game. Okay. All right. That's all that caught my interest for today. So I'm probably going to call it today and then hop on and do some multi streaming of more Pokemon White 2 later on. So feel free to like and subscribe, turn on notifications to know when I go back online. And we are also, at least with the Power Up podcast, we are multi streaming on Rumble, Odyssey, and YouTube. And with gaming, we'll be on YouTube and Twitch. Maybe it'll change once again back to one platform. Who knows? But until then, thanks for your guys' support. I'll catch you on the flip side, and I will catch you later tonight.